Okay. See, the future is technology. It's going to be there 360 degree around our children. And we look at that, the way that we look at technology is that children who are joining us today will be retiring in 2070. So 60 years from now. And looking at the rate of change and the introduction of technology, one of our major roles is going to be, of course, we talk about personality development and all these things, but one of the major roles is going to be how they're going to use technology in their day-to-day lives, in their careers in a better way, because we have no clue of what life would look like in 2070. But at least what I can say for sure is that technology is going to be a big part. So whatever technology is given to them, whether it's today we're seeing tablets being introduced, so whatever technology is being given to them, they know how to use it. They are technophiles. They'll take it to it like a duck takes to water. So we are using a lot of technologies right from the age of 2-year-old children. Of course, we've always had the softwares that children use. They're used to supplement what is taught in the classroom, because at the early learning stage, technology should not be used at a very large scale as some higher education can be done, because these children are just entering, taking the first step outside the houses when children join Shamrock. So they're 2 years of age. They're curious about the environment. So technology is one of the things that we use, but the usage gradually starts increasing as they go along the years. For example, whatever is taught, if I have to teach a concept of an apple, right, the best method would be to bring an actual apple to the class. They'll never forget this or an apple, rather than introducing it via a book. Technology will supplement it, the technology can. But where technology plays a bigger role is where the actual thing cannot be recreated in the classroom. So if I have to show them a kangaroo, I can't bring a kangaroo in the classroom. There I'm dependent on technology. So this is how we're using technology. Plus, technology allows us to create personalized learning paths as well for children. So there are a lot of tools which are coming up. There are e-blogs, innovative softwares. There are apps on the iPhone and the iPad which are coming up. So all these are being used. When we're encouraging parents to use them at home as well. So it's not because the child doesn't learn just the 3 hours he's in school. It's not that he switches off his learning button and says, okay, I'm going home. He learns 24 hours. So one of our jobs at school is also to encourage parents to also take to technology in a better manner, and especially since we have 160 schools right across the country, and they are in very small areas where people feel, "Ki, what do I have to do with technology?" We give them example of how you use a cell phone today. Rewind 20 years back when you had to book a trunk call to make a phone call, right? So this change is going to change, and for the betterment of the children, they should start investing in a computer, buy one of those data cards, start off with that. Then questions like, what about misuse of technology? What about will children watch and all that? We say keep it in the living room. So we are very pro technology as an organization. We've always we introduced these computers in classrooms, the smart classes that are there way back in 2002. So when people had not heard of these things, the monitors used to be hung from the walls, and then what happened was children started hanging from them you know, hanging from them, and then they suddenly had to. They said, no, we can't hang it on the wall. We'll put it in the ground now. So we've been very pioneer in terms of, and being a software engineer myself, leading an education company, this is something which is a personal passion for me, that I would love to see each of our children take up technology in a better way. And I think it offers it's a very strong tool. No school can do without it. No child should be, it's actually criminal to, the way we were taught when we would first enter a lab in class 9th and say, wow, this is a computer. And here's a part of a computer in class 9th. That's too much. That's too late. The changes have happened, but more needs to be done, I think, in this field.
Do you think RTE is one major step taken by government?
Yes, see, there are a lot of changes happening, and it was long overdue. Changes had to be done. I mean, the current system of schooling, which was there 5 years back, was not adequate for this century. So I agree and disagree with a lot of things, but that's of course everyone's prerogative. But at least what I'm happy about is that change is being brought about. Status quo was very harmful. I mean, I may not agree with majority of things, or I may agree with a lot of things, but at least it's getting things to people to discuss, to evaluate, to say, okay, fine, no, this is wrong, let's improve this is not working, rather than just what earlier was happening was just trying to make incremental changes. The only name in terms of education reform, the only thing that was happening was, let's revise the curriculum, let's reduce the workload, and there would be a committee who would reduce the workload and add 4 more chapters to the curriculum. Oh, they need to be taught about this. They need to talk about metro as well. They need to let's add the concept of metro. Let's add the concept of Commonwealth Games. They just kept adding information. But I think this is very radical that's happening in the RTE. But of course, there are a lot of challenges that are going to be here. The biggest would be, I think, assimilation of children who come from, if they start at age of 6 and they come from backgrounds where they don't have the support systems like computers and technology and the kind of conversation skills that the children from privileged backgrounds have. Now suddenly they start from 6, whereas a preschool child who starts preschooling with Shamrock starts from the age of 2. So he has a 4-year lead. So there's a financial gap. B, there's a learning difference as well, how much children learn. And children at this age are very insensitive as well. They make fun of each other. They don't realize the other child is getting hurt. They just blurt it out. So those things, I mean, how do we, sensitization of children and parents would have to be done. But I think, I mean, at the first level, it was a big step forward, what I feel. These things will be sorted out. I mean, as we go along, people will give feedback, and I think the government has been very open to these things. And it's appreciable the way all stakeholders, private companies, the government, parents, schools, all are taking to this pretty positively. And this is what was required. It was long overdue. But of course, those things which are weaknesses, shortcomings will be overcome, I'm very sure, because it concerns the lives of a whole generation that we are making, the impact on. So it's long overdue, and I think chalo ho jayega. Things will work out for the best.